All right, so we have the schedule. It came out earlier today at 8 p.m. I know this is kind of late as a video, but I want to get this out tonight, give you my, first reaction to it, my, without doing any research, any, scouting or anything like that on other teams. I'm going to give you, what I think of the schedule and, just kind of tell you what to expect. But before we get into it, obviously, if you enjoy the content, enjoy the channel, consider liking the video and subscribe to the channel. So let's get into it. So the Detroit Lions start off with the Chicago Bears and Green Bay Packers in week 1 and 2. So it is very important to obviously get off to a fast start this season. Um, Obviously, two division rivals. Very important game if we get started off 2-0. Not only does that make us undefeated, but it also gives our opponents in the division 2 loss and obviously gives us a tiebreaker over them, at least for the time being. And then we go to Arizona, and then we're home against the Saints. We're on the road against the Jaguars. We are on the road against the Falcons and home against the Colts. Those are our next 4 games. Obviously, I think we can beat the Cardinals. I think we'll lose to the Saints. I think they're a very strong team, but obviously you never know. I think that we will beat the Jaguars, Falcons, and Colts. The only one I'm kind of iffy on there is the Colts. I think that'll be a very close game, but I think that the Lions can start off at least their non-divisional games very strongly. And obviously, we can get those first 2 wins in week 2. We'll be set up very nicely for the second half of the season. In week 9, we go on the road to Minnesota. That'll be a tough one. We always seem to struggle in Minnesota. The atmosphere there is crazy. The Vikings are obviously a very good team, so that one's kind of on the fence. I'm not really sure about that one. And then we play at home against the Redskins, which should be an easy victory. I know we lost last year, but there was a lot of injuries. So if we can stay healthy, I think that we'll be able to beat the Redskins pretty easily. But obviously, it's the NFL. Anybody can win on any given Sunday, and nothing is a given. Then in week 11, we are on the road against Carolina. Again, I think it's a very winnable game. I think Carolina is rebuilding. At this point, I think they're kind of trying to figure out what they're trying to do. Maybe even tank for Trevor Lawrence. They've given away a lot of key pieces like Cam Newton, some good offensive linemen. Obviously, they lost Luke Kuechly. So I think that the Carolina Panthers are kind of trying to rebuild, and to do that, you have to break down what you have first in order to rebuild it under a new head coach in Matt Rule. So then it gets to Thanksgiving, week 12. We do play the Houston Texans, so we will not play a divisional rival this year on Thanksgiving, which we have done in the past for several years. And I like it not being able to play a division rival on Thanksgiving. Not only do we not have a great track record against rivals on Thanksgiving, but I just think that, it is Thanksgiving. It's a little less stressful when it's not a division rival. Obviously not as fun, but again, if we lose, then it's not as big of a deal on Thanksgiving. And obviously, the Houston Texans are a very good football team. Even with the loss of DeAndre Hopkins, they still have Brandon Cooks and Will Fuller and, some really, really good talent. And obviously, Deshaun Watson, number 4 for the Houston Texans, is an amazing quarterback in the NFL. So that is going to be a very good game to watch. I'm excited to watch that game on Thanksgiving Day. So then we go on to Chicago on the road at Soldier Field. Again, I don't think the Chicago Bears are that good of a football team. I think we should be able to win that game. And then we're at Green Bay at home, which is obviously our second to last divisional game. It is at home, and, sometimes, most of the time we have a pretty good track record at home against the Packers, at least in recent years. So we'll hope that we can keep that one up. Then we play the Titans on the road. This is one that I'm pretty worried about. Obviously, our run defense was not very good last year, and Derrick Henry is the rushing king. The Baltimore Ravens had an amazing defense last season. The Patriots had a great defense last season, and Derrick Henry ran right through them. They did not slow him down, and he really wasn't slowed down at all. The Titans just got outscored by the Chiefs, and that is why they lost. So I'm very worried about the Titans. I definitely think that this is going to be one of the tougher games for the Lions, just because they have Derrick Henry and they can run the ball. And obviously Ryan Tannehill is a serviceable quarterback where if, there's play action, he has time, he's good enough to make throws down the field. So you can't be lacking in the secondary either, because Ryan Tannehill will make you pay when he does throw the ball. So then we have the Buccaneers, Tom Brady. This is a very good game. This is a very exciting game. I'm excited to watch this. This is one of the top three, I would say. The games that I cannot wait to watch. Obviously, Tom Brady, Gronk, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin against Trufant and Duron Harmon and Tracy Walker and Jeff Okuda and Amani Oruwari and Justin Coleman. I think that'll be a great battle. I think it'll be a good offense versus a good defense. And obviously, we've beat Tom Brady in the past, but you never know. Tom Brady, you never want to play late in the season, but obviously, new team, new scheme. So we will see how that turns out. But again, that's kind of one that I'm a little worried about. And then we end with the Vikings at home. Again, I think the Vikings are a very good football team, but I think that the Lions, if they can figure their defense out, this could be one of those games that decides the division at the end of the year. I think that the Packers are going to take a step back this season. I don't know if the Bears are going to figure out their quarterback situation. So I think it could really be a race between us and the Minnesota Vikings to take the North. And this game could decide who wins the NFC North. And it could be the Lions for the first time ever. So that's kind of my original reaction. I think that we can definitely have 9 to 10 wins. I think that is very possible this season based on the schedule that I'm looking at and how the teams did last season. When I'm done with, prospect breakdowns and positional breakdowns, I will be going into the schedule, doing a little bit of a deeper dive, comparing positions and matchups, and kind of going into, what to expect necessarily, at least a little bit more in depth, so I can kind of get a clearer picture of what to expect on that Sunday or Thursday or, whenever they play the game. But that will come eventually. I want to finish some of the stuff we're doing right now before I get into the next season. But like I said, I know this is late. I'm sorry, but I really wanted to get this out. If you like the channel, subscribe. And if there's any Lions news, I will let you guys know by tomorrow. But that's me for tonight. I'm done. I'm tired. I'm going to bed. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.